Now we actually have enemies. Let's try out that blaster. So it's a machine gun. It's not the most powerful of weapons, but it does have decent range. But it can be a bit misleading. And I can destroy things from this distance, but even though you can still see a bullet clearly go through something, it won't necessarily destroy it because it will be considered too far away. Like, these lamps should be breakable, but nothing happens. But if I get closer to it, now I can break it. And that's the most annoying thing about the blaster to me. It's just, its range is a bit misleading. Of the two, I do prefer the Parasitor, and this section gets a lot of slowdown. I assume it's PS3 version, because I haven't played it on the PS2, but I'm assuming that these are like HD collection slowdowns. Try not to get too close to that helicopter thing, or it will shoot you. And very often when it's something that's flying, you can pretty much be guaranteed it's some sort of rapid fire attack that can be kind of tricky to avoid. Oh, I destroyed my other means of getting up there. Oh well. There's nothing important up there, it's just a few crates that will give you some bolts, which granted is what we needed, but unfortunately this particular level, Kerwan, does require you to buy stuff in order to progress with the story at both ends, so you gotta try and grab as many bolts as you can. You know, I don't like that sort of design, especially when the weapons cost quite a bit as well. I'm not going to be getting every weapon in this playthrough, so what I will be doing is going to my old profile to show you guys what the other weapons are, to show you what the gold weapons are, as well as what's the best weapon in the game, and as well as also the most expensive, which is the Rhino. Hey, come back here. Because the Rhino costs 150,000 bolts, which is a lot even in challenge mode in this game. There's no bolt multiplier like the later games will get. So all you can do is just keep destroying things. And while the actual value of bolts does go up in challenge mode, it's not enough to get you anywhere quickly. Which is why I absolutely hate the trophy that the PS3 version gives you, where you gotta collect 1,000,000 bolts. It's so painfully long.
Ratchet, that's the man we saw on the infobot. Remember? He knows Captain Quark.
Hey, you're that robot guy, right?
No, actually, I build robots. I myself am not a robot guy, per se.
Nerd.
I like him.
So, now that we've cleared that up, what can I do for you?
Well, we saw your infobot announcement. You were with Captain Quark. We're trying to find Captain Quark. We thought you could help us.
Your logic is commendable. However, I haven't seen Captain Quark since we shot that commercial. Say, do you run on standard XP18 sister boards?
Version 7.66.
Back at ya. I may be able to help you out after all. How does a helepack upgrade sound?
Upgrade?
Natch. Since he's a 766, I could have the little guy up and flying in no time. Of course, I'll just need my fee for service.
It's a good thing there's more level after this.
Okay, this won't hurt a bit.
Hey, wait! Ratchet, am I cool now?
Yeah, you the man, Clank.
You're welcome.
Screw you, you're not welcome for anything. Well, I guess I'm the one who should be welcome. I should say, I'm not thanking you for anything. You turned Clank into a mutant. A helpful mutant. So now we have the helepack, which allows us to slowly descend to the ground, which is kind of... let's get to a slightly higher vantage point. If you crouch and jump, you can now go super jump. And jump from a large height, you can slowly descend to the ground. And it gives you a good distance. Not only that, it also gives you a long jump. And I love long jumps so much. You gotta crouch, and whilst you're still moving forwards, you can just press the jump button, and you get a long jump. exactly like Super Mario 64. You know, I always love long jumps, and especially in this game. Well, later on, we'll be getting another upgrade, which is similar to the helepack, but I think it's overall better because for one reason only, it gives me a double jump. That is my one and only reason. But then the fact that it also doesn't constantly have that helicopter sound. Oh, why did I do that? I don't do that in Crash Bandicoot, just so we all know. Yeah. If you ever come across a big enemy, use your overhead slam because it's double damage. This is where we have one of the more out there skill points. In fact, we can get our first skill point. Because it requires you to do something that you wouldn't really think about doing. Firstly, destroy these because these are enemy spawners. You cannot grind bolts using enemy spawners because it'll begin to get to a point where enemies will just not really drop any bolts. So sadly you can't grind with them. Avoid his bombs. Look at all these bolts that sadly don't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, and I gotta spend them all later on anyway. Right, now what you gotta do, see that statue? You need to stand under that statue. It's called strike a pose. So you need to use your helepack to glide on over there, and then we gotta stand underneath its legs. There we go. There are 30 skill points in the game, and about 20 of them in the PS3 version are trophies. Not all of them are though, so yeah. I mean, the trophy guide, the list of trophies, if it's not a hidden trophy, can help you with knowing what some of these skill points are, because there's nothing telling you what they are. Nor in challenge mode, where it will tell you what planet they're on, but it won't actually tell you what it is you need to do. I have no idea how you're supposed to figure out how to do some of these things. It's bad enough for the placement of some of these gold bolts, but the skill points, you know, some of them are pretty obvious. Yeah, I'd say the blimp that's at the beginning of this planet is a fairly simple one to understand as long as you actually see it. But then you will realise, okay, that thing sticks out a bit. Let's try shooting it. I have a visible gun that's designed for that sort of thing. Let's try shooting it, and you'll realise, well, that was a skill point. You know, that one is pretty simple, but when you have to do something like that, you got to go all out of your way and then climb all the way back up again. Those are the sort of skill points that you really wouldn't think about. Let's not get on the train just yet. We've got a load of luggage all around here, which we can do a bit of platforming on. If you want to get up there, don't destroy these. Right, there's nothing up here, it's just a few more bolts. We do have a gold bolt over here, however. But before we do that, let's just grab all of these other things. Look at all these crates! More crates here, more crates in this one area than most Crash Bandicoot 1 levels have. And this isn't even a game where breaking crates is the main focus. They just exist for the sake of getting bolts. I love long jumping. See how much faster this is? Because it might just be me, but I kind of feel that Ratchet is a bit on the slow side. I mean, I'm sure it is also partially just because I've played so much Sonic the Hedgehog. But you know, well, they don't exist in the 3D games. Well, they do now, but most of the time they're not in 3D. There's no run button in 3D Mario games, but it does exist in 2D ones. And I'm almost always holding it down. You know, when I'm playing Crash Bandicoot, you know, he runs quite fast anyway. And if I'm playing well, I don't really do it for warps, but when I'm playing like Wrath of Cortex, I will hold down that run button pretty much all the time. When I will hold down the speed shoes button all the time because it makes me go faster. So Ratchet just feels a little bit slow, and you don't even need to land on the platform. So don't worry if you feel you're going to overshoot it, you can't. But yeah, that's an easy gold bolt. What kind of suitcase and crate things are these anyway? But now we have a giant train. Step onto this one, and we're off. Unfortunately, we didn't get a ticket for this train. So, unfortunately, all of the ticket inspectors aren't exactly going to allow you onto the train, and our only way to do that is to knock them off. Well, you can knock them off, or you can do that. They outright try and shoot you off with very slow-moving rockets. I always love knocking an enemy off the side. I love doing it in Zelda. I love doing it here. Always love doing that. We can't just pick up our info bot though. You're not timed on this train or anything. You just got to get to that end passage and it will initiate this cutscene. So you're not on any sort of time limits to get to the end. Like the Parasitor, your blaster gets through ammo quite quickly. So I wouldn't always recommend holding the button if you are like chasing after somebody. I mean, maybe tap it instead. That's actually one of the best ways to make sure you don't use up all of your ammo too quickly for the last weapon we get. Because it does drain the ammo count slower if you just press the button instead of holding it. Does a bit to your thumb, but other than that.
Greetings, Executive Chairman Drek. Dispense with the pleasantries, Lieutenant. My sources tell me you're behind schedule. You must prepare this planet to be harvested for our new world.
Yes, sir. As you can see, everything is moving along as planned.
I'm counting on you, Lieutenant. And as your former commander can tell you, I don't take disappointment well.
Yes, sir. I won't fail.
Drek is destroying yet another planet.
Yeah, but if that's the kind of help he's getting, I don't think we have anything to worry about.
You should not underestimate Chairman Drek. He is quite dangerous. We must find Captain Quark.
Look, that lieutenant doesn't seem so tough. Let's take him out ourselves.
Perhaps we can persuade the lieutenant to tell us where Drek is.
Now you're talking.
Ratchet, what is wrong with your eyelids? I could clearly still see your eyeball going through it. That's quite gross. Alright, but now we got the helepack, we can get another gold bolt. So you jump down here, and again, another one that's a bit more out of the way. It's like, not the most obvious thing in the world. I don't know if the cars can hit you if you're like gliding on your way down. I don't know if the cars can hit you, and I'm not sure if it is maybe possible with a well-timed jump, if you can just jump down here without the use of the helepack, but you probably need it in order to get in. You can destroy these cars. They can give you a few bolts. Not much though. Most planets do have a skill point where you have to destroy something that's flying in the air. Navalis has one. This one doesn't. Not every planet does, but a vast majority of them do. But really, you're going to need either the Devastator or, in many cases, the Visibomb gun in order to destroy them. And usually it's 10. Sometimes it might be a bit different. Sometimes it might have you make use of a particular gadget or something that's found only on that planet. It isn't one that you carry yourself. Which Planet Gasper does that. Now we have enough bolts to pay the fat German lady. Unfortunately, that does mean we have to complete the obstacle course again. But just before we get to her, we have... Oh, well, we can't. We do have that cart to help us get back to her more quickly. But what we need to do first is we need to get to the second island and get to the top to obtain another gold bolt. And once again, it's one of those that's a bit more out there. Unfortunately, in order to get it, you do need to climb all the way back to the top of the tower again. Which really makes me wish that these things went faster. The ones in Marble Zone go faster than this. Only now have I started to compare these things to Marble Zone, but they kind of do remind me of those blocks that Sonic has to jump onto. No! And we're cutting to when I get back to the top. Alright, we're at the top. Now, one big glide, so make sure you long jump in order to get the maximum distance. Go down here, we should be okay. You can reactivate it if you need to. Oh, that was rather underwhelming. I like it. It's a lot more satisfying to do in Crash because you can destroy so many more at once. But that's generally why I use the overhead smash though, because you can destroy quite a lot of crates in one go. And for some reason I love activating TNT crates and exploding a load and destroying a load of crates with them as well, even though I'm not really doing anything other than touching them. I still find it just as satisfying to do. I don't know, maybe I'm just a very easy person to satisfy. But unfortunately this thing's going to take us all the way back to our ship. Why can't you just take us back to the start of the obstacle course? Again, we're going to take the red, because we're going to take the scenic route. Right, finally. Gotta wait until the thing stops moving, you can't jump off otherwise. Thankfully, we have another one of those floating taxi things that can get us to the fat German lady. I don't know if she has a name. We can get to her a lot faster while she's busy doing her star jumps. We've still got to take the scenic route. All you need to do is go backwards. This way isn't quite as long. Now we can get our swing shot.
Sweet! I bet Captain Quark uses stuff like this all the time.
Ha! Real men can swing without silly toys like that! The two of you make me sick!
Well, how about you show us doing all of these things yourself? If you think that you're so great. Yeah, this is a swing shot, our first gadget. So if we go to our pause menu, we have the helepack and we have the swing shot. Which is, at the moment everything is automatically set to your quick select. So if for whatever reason you want to take it off, you'll have to go to the quick select and do it manually. But once it's full, it's full. You will have to then set everything manually afterwards. Which unfortunately happens very easy. I mean, this is only our second planet and we're already halfway through it. But that is everything on Kerwan for now. We still have 2 skill points to get, but we're not going to be getting them for some time. Where's the blimp one? It's probably behind the building somewhere. But that'll do it for now. So next up, we're going to be making good use of the swing shot on planet Iridia. And then we'll head to Eudora. Or Eudora, I think its name is. So our quest is just beginning. To stop. Well, his name is it's constantly changing. Supreme Executive Chairman Drek, or as I like to call him, Mini Captain Gantu from Lilo and Stitch, because it's still Kevin Michael Richardson and he's putting on the exact same voice. I mean, I love the voice, but it was the very first thing I thought of when I heard Drek's voice. I thought, okay, that's Captain Gansu. And didn't these two come out like the same year, 2002? I'll have to look that up. But yeah, that wrap things up here for now. So, next time we'll be heading to finally help out Skid McMarx and his agent on planet Iridia. And I will see you guys then.